best pro wrestling podcast. What does that mean?
What the hell's wrong with you? That's open hand slap, huh?
What does that mean?
My botch.
What does that mean?
That is so profane, Dana, and rude.
What does that mean?
Get it right in the nuts.
What does that mean? Rusev number one. What does that mean?
That means this is the best pro wrestling podcast, and that means this is episode 100 of the show. That's right, we are celebrating 100 episodes.
What does that mean?
That means
yeah, what does that mean?
Before this, we have done 99 other episodes. Now, when this show started, it started off as just me, like episodes 1 through 23 or 24 was a completely different format, and then we restarted the show with Taco and Joe, and I should mention Taco's here.
What up?
Joe's here via satellite again this week.
What up?
But we got Joe a nice new microphone for being on the road. He's going to be on vacation again next week, but if he's got room in his luggage, he can sneak his fancy new setup with him and take it with him on the road.
Definitely.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, episode 100 is off to a great start, as usual here on the podcast. Like I said, the show started different, but kind of ended up where we are now. A lot more fun. We try to keep it positive, talk about the things that we like, and we have a big announcement to make this week on episode 100 of the best pro wrestling podcast. When I started this show, if you go back and listen to the early episodes, it's basically talking about Raw and me trying to fill the time with some other things. And now there's literally so much to talk about that we have to expand.
Yeah.
We have basically to explain.
We're getting a bigger couch.
We're getting a bigger. The couch is staying the same size, but
bigger beers.
Bigger beers would be nice, but we are going to add a second podcast with its own separate feed. If you've been listening for a while, you may be familiar with Strong Honor. Started doing that show I did back around WrestleMania season for another podcast website for thefanspodcast.com. Things didn't work out there. We stopped doing that podcast over there right before the G1 climax. But what we did do is we did a couple more episodes of Strong Honor on this podcast feed. But what we're going to do now, going forward, is Strong Honor will be its own podcast where we'll talk about New Japan, Ring of Honor, a little bit of Rev Pro, maybe some other indie stuff, kind of whatever's hot on that scene or whatever, so to speak. But basically an overflow of kind of all the second. I don't even want to say second best, because most weeks I actually rather enjoy what goes on in New Japan a lot more. So it's just as good of a show. But I believe there's people that are going to listen to this show that are going to be that are mostly WWE fans, and then there's going to be people that want to listen to both, and then there's going to be people that just want to hear about New Japan, Ring of Honor, etc. So I think it's a good separation, and it'll make for hopefully shorter podcasts instead of doing the hour and a half, hour 45 minute, 2 hour marathon podcasts. Instead, we'll have a shorter Best Pro Wrestling and then a shorter Strong Honor, but at the same time being able to go a little more in depth on certain subjects, and then instead of trying to have to move on quickly to get to other topics.
Hi.
So what it'll be is, like I said, Strong Honor will have its own feed. I think we'll do a week or two of it being on this main Best Pro Wrestling podcast feed as well, so people can kind of get used to the change. And eventually, we'll have a website for it and everything else, stronghonor.com, that will probably be pointing, of course, to bestprowrestlingpodcast.com. But all of that is in the works, but we will be doing 2 podcasts going forward. Earlier today, Taco and I did record the second edition of Strong Honor, so look for that. We're talking
fucking dicks.
We talk about the Destruction shows that happened over the last weekend, previewed this coming shows, talked talked a little bit about King of Pro Wrestling. We got the big Ring of Honor pay-per-view.
We specifically talked about Ring of Honor without Joe.
No, and that's not true because, Joe, you mentioned that you wanted to talk a little bit about this week's Ring of Honor TV, the Marty Scurll match with Clinton Dix. But we'll get into that a little bit later. His match with Mr. Haha.
We're here to talk about the best of the week.
Indeed. So we're still, like I said, we're still going to talk some Ring of Honor and New Japan on here. It won't be exclusively just WWE stuff. But
since we're talking about exciting news right now, though, I'm like so proud of us right now.
Did you say news?
News.
Wrestling news.
We have quite a bit of news for you.
News. We got 2 podcasts going on right now. We got fucking 100th episode we're hitting on this. And it finally took us 100 episodes to get a whiteboard in the office with the dates of the events that are coming up.
Right.
Awesome.
It's so convenient. I finally did add a whiteboard, but since I've got all this sound foam around the room, I had to hang it way on the other side of the room, and there's this glare coming off of the lamp now, so it's kind of hard to see. But yeah, I've got No Mercy on the 24th, as well as Destruction, Hell in a Cell on October 8th, on October 9th, New Japan Pro Wrestling, October 15th, Ring of Honor goes to Chicago, so on and so forth. I have dates sort of in front of me across the room. So
awesome.
Like I said, we try to keep it positive on this show, but we are talking the news of the week, and unfortunately, we have to bring up the unfortunate passing of Bobby the Brain Heenan. Now, this isn't really shocking news. The cancer, him succumbing to cancer,
throat cancer.
Well, that was initially diagnosed like 15 years ago.
Oh.
So him really fighting the tough battle of that.
Yep.
So, like I said, not coming as a surprise, but still sad news. I've got a couple of minutes of some Bobby the Brain Heenan sound. Most of it, I decided to. I think a lot of people are familiar mostly with a lot of his WWF stuff, especially the late '80s, early '90s, going into WCW. But a lot of people maybe not as familiar with some of his AWA work.
Sure.
So I went back into YouTube, and I'm going to post a link to some of the YouTube videos that I got some of this audio from. I created a playlist that you can find at bestprowrestlingpodcast.com, or in the show description for this show. There should be a link there as well. But the first soundbite is actually a WWE one where he was talking about a match between Fabulous Moolah and I forget the opponent. But anyway, that's the first one, and then we go into some more AWA sound bites from there.
You notice Moolah has a Christmas tree on the front of her.
Is that what it is?
Trunk. Yes. What nice ornaments.
Now, I heard Tito Santana out here a little bit earlier saying he's thinking of making the Bay Area his home.
This is Nick
that
Bachman.
property value go down,
wouldn't it?
Oh, gentlemen,
Now,
please. Bobby Heenan, that is a very good-looking sport coat you've got on.
Yeah,
and I paid for mine. Mine isn't government issue. Oh, complete.
Go ahead, interview me now. That's your job out here.
Bobby
People like
Heenan.
to know a little bit about me.
Yes.
You're the kind of a guy that just keeps talking, don't let anybody else get a word in. Now, interview me while I can get my interview done here.
I'd like to.
And don't waste any time talking about other little things that are trivial. Talk to me right now. Go ahead, come on.
Oh my
Bobby.
I got a lot to say. It's not the kind of a guy that stands around here.
Are you done yet?
No, I'm not done. Keep going.
We're out of time. I'm
Out of
sorry
time?
to say. You better believe it.
What do you think, I'm standing
We're going to be
for my
right
health?
back with more action.
Who are you?
Merry Christmas, Bobby Heenan.
Put a lid on it. Maybe you like to sit around, open up your gifts, and have eggnog and trim the tree and do all that. I don't have time for that.
What are you doing with that newspaper, Bobby
I'll
Heenan?
tell you in a
I've been
minute.
curious.
I'll tell you in a minute. Mad Dog Vachon comes from Algeria. He's lived out of a garbage can, he says. Well, I'm going to tell you something like this newspaper represents. When a dog goes someplace where he shouldn't be, how do you train him? How do you reprimand him? You smack the dog, and you keep smacking him. One of his pals tonight. What's the guy's name? The amateur?
Murat Susi, one of the great ones.
I bet he didn't go out after dark with a name like that. Lorenzo Sissi. Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to go do this, amateur. I'm going to get in the ring with him. First thing I'm going to do is circle him. Then I'm going to take him down on the mat. I'm going to ride him for a while. I'm going to pick him up. Then I'm going to give him a suplex. Then I'm going to give him a reverse double duplex. Then I'm going to go and take him around back. You know where the turnbuckle is there in the mat? I'm going to go around there and take him and give him a reverse chicken wing slam. And he's not going to have a chance. And then I'm going to pick him up by his skinny little neck and just shake him till he says, I'm sorry, Mr. Heenan. Maybe I should go back to school.
Execution, of course, a very big part, Bobby Heenan, in professional wrestling.
I'm going to tell you something, Mulligan. I never wore a little kid's cowboy hat like that. I don't own a pink shirt. I never was on a horse backwards. But I'm going to tell you something, you big loudmouth Texan.
Camel backwards.
This afternoon, when my champion here gets done with you, I may get on top of you in that ring, put the spurs to you, put the boots to you, ride you right out of the St. Paul Civic Center and right into the Mississippi. And you're going to wish you never tried to make a fool out of me. You don't rile me. You don't.
Fans, that's all the time we've got. We'll see you this afternoon at the St. Paul Civic Center, and again right back here next week. So long.
So again, a lot of fun going back and checking out old Bobby Heenan stuff. Did you guys get a chance to go on and check out any old Bobby Heenan stuff or anything like that, Joe?
I definitely did. I watched a bunch of stuff and listened to a bunch of just best ofs
on
YouTube of Bobby Heenan.
What kind of stuff stood out to you?
Honestly, because it was mainly what I watched when I was growing up. I was a WCW kid. He was my first heel commentator. He was the one that, I hated as a kid. I didn't want him, the crazy shit he used to say and everything like that. So those are the days I remember, but I got to rediscover the whole Gorilla Monsoon Bobby Heenan connection, and just that was so good, like watching those two just work together and going back and being able to actually enjoy that. It's surprising with an announcer.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I checked out some of those old primetime wrestlings on the network, and it was not a lot like soundbite worthy to throw on the show, but just the interaction between those two. And a lot of it is like facial expressions that Bobby does. Yeah. It's just like when Gorilla says something and he just kind of, the way he reacts is always very unique and interesting. So a lot of fun there.
Well, and talking with a guy at work, he had an actually good idea, because there's only a couple people who are double WWE Hall of Famers. He's thinking put Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon in together as a team, commentating different for the Hall of Fame too, combining it.
Yeah.
Yep, and I wanted to, when I was talking about those the primetime wrestlings there. One thing I was curious about was the Bobby Heenan show. When I watch a WWE Network on PlayStation 3, and so like when the stuff that pops up, like when you click on Primetime Wrestling, are the newest ones. And so the last two newest ones have the Bobby Heenan show on there. And I was really expecting for it to be very good.
I think they were too. And
not so much. It was like an early 90s public access TV show with a budget. I mean, it was still Bobby Heenan kind of being him, but just, being mean to like regular people. So it was like it was really uncomfortable and like it was just, so if that's what you're into, sure, but it was, and you can make an argument, it'll be so much heat, it's just a heel, it'll be great for that, but it was really,
some people just don't know how to react to that.
It was really it was uncomfortable. So it was
not everyone's a winner.
Right, exactly. But don't worry about that. There's tons of great Bobby Heenan stuff out there. Like, fall down the YouTube hole. There's, I could watch those AWA promos for days, and some of them, the way they have them on YouTube is they'll do like the promo, then they'll show the match, and then there'll be like the post match stuff. So
for sure,
a lot of fun stuff on there, and especially like the stuff with Bobby Heenan and Nick Bockwinkel. Nick Bockwinkel, the champion, AWA champion at times, and when he wasn't champion, they referred to him as the former champion. So he was always kind of there in the mix. So a lot of fun there. Other news, Paige is back in the WWE Performance Center.
Day 3 or 4 now, so
looks like she's getting ready to make a comeback.
WWE's actually acknowledging it and reposting it too, so
sure.
That's awesome.
How do we feel about Paige coming back?
I'm for it, man. She was fun in the ring. She's, a great talent to have, and the chick is just oozing money. She is money. You know how the WWE fans are, so it's just like, I hope they just pop for her and kind of not try to bring in the whole fucking sex tape shit, into the crowd.
I'm not worried about that. I'm not really worried about the fans. I'm more worried about her having heat backstage, maybe more heat with the office over all of the Alberto Del Rio stuff that happened while she's been gone, and whether or not I don't know if she's been milking this injury. I haven't heard anything like that, but she's been gone an awful long time.
Really long time.
I don't know, Joe. What do you think?
Honestly, I'm with Taco on this. That I'm for it. I think somebody's just gonna have to rein her in the WWE. That's the problem. Is she can't, be the Paige she has been over the last few months. Shooting off her mouth on Twitter and email, and she doesn't have that leverage of being, a superstar altogether. So, I'm excited to see what she does. That if she can perform in the ring again.
Yeah, right on. Let's get her back in the ring and hopefully something good behind her. Especially we got Asuka coming up to Raw pretty soon. It'd be nice to see maybe Paige on the Smackdown side. So.
Yeah, I think although just her whole family's deep into the wrestling biz, so for her to not be wrestling and Del Rio kind of be wrestling, that's the kind of thing with performers. It's hard on them too to see that. So hopefully just her getting in the ring again, working out, and just doing her thing is gonna kind of center her.
Yeah, and there's that whole movie that The Rock is making about her and her family. Del Rio has heat with her family, so I haven't heard anything.
He's got heat with everybody.
That's true. I haven't heard
Latino heat.
I have not heard what the latest is on Del Rio and Paige. Not that I really care all that much.
Yeah,
but
I think it's just kind of everything got blown out of proportion. They're all moving on. I know before Global Force's bullshit reemergence or whatever that they reinstated him. So
he's back doing Global
I believe
Force.
So, yeah. Well, Impact, what the fuck? Impact TNA Night Slamversary.
What a clusterfuck it is over there.
It's so disappointing, man.
They got to get rid of Jeff Jarrett, so they bring back the old creative team. Now they get rid of Global Force. They're going back to Impact. Now they're going to Canada. Nobody's going to go to the show. They're going to have a pay-per-view, but it's all Del Rio's back. What is going on?
It's just...
oh, man.
That's all super neat, guys.
I kind of just want to hear... I just want to wait like 6 months and kind of hear where they're at.
Right?
I'm just like maybe... Just get everything figured out, and if it, I just know it's not going to work. It's going to be this. It's been the same story for years. Why are we talking about Global Force?
Change the subject.
Let's move on to Monday Night Raw, and let's get these No Mercy predictions in, huh?
Monday Night Raw.
Joe's doing it, Taco.
I was just trying to think of what does that mean. That was like the best.
You can give him that too.
Sound clip.
Oh, he's flipping you off now, so there it is. All right. Yes, Monday Night Raw, the go home for No Mercy. I really felt like last week was more of the hype pumped you up go home show for Monday Night Raw. But nevertheless, we had it was a show. So
it wasn't that bad.
No, it really wasn't. It really wasn't. Where do you want to start? What was the big
right off the bat?
Top
it off.
We'll go right to the beginning. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax.
Yeah, let's forget about that. Never mind.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Well, and they've been building up this little feud or whatever, and the quote friendship, but not really friends for a little while.
It was rough. Like, I know a lot of people didn't like that. It was just Alexa Bliss running away the whole time, which, what do you expect? Look how small she is compared to Nia. That's kind of the story that's in that ring. It's just, man, like, that was perfect commercial break.
Sasha Banks attacks after Nia Jax wins the match with the Samoan drop. Bayley comes out. They triple team Nia Jax with Alexa Bliss teaming up with Sasha Banks and Bayley momentarily, which was cute.
I did like that little moment there for trying to be the cutesy cheerleader, like, yeah, go team, and nah, we ain't having this shit.
Right. And then later on in the show, Bayley gets added to the 4-way, making it a fatal 5-way.
Wow.
At No Mercy. So again, all of the women
Can
involved.
we just get a women's title match with a 1-on-1?
Yeah, that would be very nice. At least they got it right on SmackDown this week. But
that's true.
We will get to. That's one of the few things that SmackDown got right. but we'll get to. So yeah, it's another super 5-way for the women's title. Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Sasha. And who am I forgetting?
Emma.
Oh my God, Emma's in there.
Yeah, easily if you forget.
So, Taco, what is your prediction for the women's 5-way?
That Bayley part was a good shocker, honestly, to this match. Everyone kind of had Emma pegged as the losing point of the match, which she still probably is going to be. But, I say keep the strap on Alexa Bliss at this point.
Joe, what you say?
Your prediction.
I actually agree. I actually agree completely.
Stop copies me.
Just don't. Stops copies me.
Stop copies me.
No, stops copies me.
What does that
mean? But Alexa Bliss is walking out the champion again. Bayley's back too soon. You can't give it back to Sasha immediately. Obviously, they're not going to go Emma, and God forbid they gave it to Nia Jax. So I just see Alexa Bliss walking with the title again.
Just to be
probably taking a win after Nia Jax destroys somebody.
That's probably what's going to happen. But just to be contrarian, and just because I don't really care that much, because everybody they haven't presented anybody as special in this situation, I'm saying Nia Jax gets the women's championship.
You fucking wash your mouth out with soap right now.
Hey, I believe it was you that said this.
Nia Jax is the greatest female competitor to ever step in the ring.
She's not like most girls. What does that mean?
What does that mean? I need that as a ringtone.
Then it was The Bar versus Anderson and Gallows. Rollins got involved and also joined the match.
Mm-hmm.
The Bar say Rollins will break up, and Rollins say, we're brothers. Anderson and Gallows call them nerds. Ambrose says, nobody calls me a nerd.
Oh, I like that. Rollins was like, you guys shouldn't have done that. And fucking Ambrose is fuming.
that was just a fun
I had to
spot.
rewind it. My girlfriend stopped because I'm losing my shit. She's like, what just happened? I was like, yeah, I'll watch this. She fucking laughed.
That was great. The little homage to Back to the Future there. Nobody calls me chicken. So
That was awesome, man.
I enjoyed all of that.
That's right, geeks.
The Bar getting the win, and at the No Mercy for the tag match, it's going to be Rollins versus The Bar.
Awesome.
Joe, what do you say?
I want to give it back to The Bar. I just think that he deserves the championships at this point. Rollins is fun, but we know it won't last forever.
Taco?
Yeah, I'm with you, Joe, that I want The Bar to win, but I feel like keeping the straps on Rollins is the only move to do. Without them, they're not really much of a team.
Yeah, I agree. I think the belts stay where they are. I want The Bar to win. I'm a huge fan of The Bar.
So much fun.
I honestly hope that they keep them till Survivor Series and they do that cross promotion with the Usos. That'd be so fucking fun,
That would
man.
be hot.
That'd be so fun.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be a lot of fun. Apollo Crews beat Kurt Hawkins. I don't know why I'm talking about that.
Hey, hottest streak in the business.
Yeah, 115 match losing streak for Hawkins. This is the first they brought it up, but at least they got a gimmick for him now, I guess. Lesnar and Strowman, the interview segment. This was very interesting. Mm-hmm. This is probably one of the top stories from the show. But I like just Brock. I thought he looked somewhat intimidated during the interview portion of it, or just kind of him selling the idea of I have to look tough for this son of a bitch. So I liked it. What did you think, Taco?
Oh yeah, it's definitely, he knows he's got to play some head games too, a little bit with Strowman, because obviously he just fucking rolled out of a suplex, and he's like, "Fuck your suplex city." This is, you're coming Strowman now. So it's just, it's fucking good match. Looking forward to here. Just two big powerhouses. So it's awesome seeing Lesnar kind of being, the underdog, and it's not against, someone like Goldberg, who is, a laugh still.
Strowman says all the momentum is behind me. Lesnar thanks Strowman for backing him into a corner. I liked that the way he kind of wrapped it up there, taking the reins away from Paul Heyman and saying, look, man, you've had my number, and I've kind of been complacent as of late, just taking guys to Suplex City and resting on my laurels, but you've made me realize that I've really got to bring my A game here. So I really like that aspect.
Lesnar's one of those guys, too, that you can tell when he's actually giving a fuck about a feud. Like, look at him, the Samoa Joe feud. It was like, he just had that extra pep in his step. And
Yeah.
you can see he's kind of looking at that with Strowman too. Like has a little extra pep in his step with this, where jump in the way back machine, go to his match with Ambrose, and it's like
Exactly.
like zero fucks, just. Nothing notable. So I'm loving this shit right now. That's the Lesnar we want. That's the Lesnar that sells.
Joe, your thoughts?
Well, it's just that Lesnar's never had to face the monsters that are actually in WWE that are nowadays. They're getting these monstrously talented people, and he's got an actual challenge, and that's whether it's sports entertainment or not. It's just fun for him. It's making the payday even more satisfying to him.
Mm-hmm.
So, Taco, what's your prediction? Lesnar versus Strowman for the Universal title.
Man, it's like I really, really want to go fucking Strowman in this situation. It'd just be a good fucking loop that they try to do with Jinder, and you ain't getting that. Strowman has so much steam going to this match right now that. Where the fuck do you go with him if he doesn't lose? But you can easily carry to another month or two with this feud. So, but I gotta stick Lesnar.
Joe, what do you think?
I'll be the devil's advocate. I want Strowman walking out, and I think he is walking out with that title.
I think Lesnar keeps the title. I'm not sure if he wins though, because it's a regular straight up match. Any shenanigans that could come into play.
That's true.
When I was looking for Bobby Heenan sound bites, I came across this gem from Nick Bockwinkel.
If we've got a dirty trick that we can pull to stop the two of you, if we've got anything up our sleeve, any form of skullduggery or vicious nastiness that can be conjured up, we're going to do it.
So I'm not sure who the heel in the program is. To me, it kind of feels like Strowman is supposed to be, just because that's the way Vince McMahon has been booking it. Mm-hmm. But a big part of the crowd is behind Strowman. So, but I wouldn't put it.
There's just some stories you don't need to have that though.
No,
it's just two brutes.
I 100% agree. But I think whether it's Strowman or Lesnar, I believe that there might be a little bit of
skullduggery
at some point during the match. So I'm looking for
skullduggery
to happen, and but I think Lesnar keeps the title either way. Then Roman Reigns talking, no interruptions from Cena this time. Cena is not there.
Like Joe.
He drops the, Roman drops the, was it the S-bomb? He's flipping you off again, Taco. Did Roman say shit or fuck?
He said shit.
I think it was shit.
Oh, I really remember the F-bomb.
He compared Cena to Alex Riley, or at least the idea that Roman isn't a Cena copy, because look at where Alex Riley is, basically. He plays Cena's promo on The Rock from back when they were feuding, where Cena was talking about Rock being a part-timer, et cetera, et cetera. So Roman just bringing back the same old shit again and again.
Right. Hey, at least he had a clip to back it up this time.
And then, of course, bringing up the idea that Cena wasn't there right now because The Rock wasn't there right now. Cena's not here for you. The headline here is that Cena wasn't there because he was in China for WWE, or at least he was the night before and couldn't make it back to Raw in time.
I did not put that together. That is funny, man.
So there's that.
What a dick, Roman.
So, yeah, the heel in this whole thing is probably Roman.
What does that mean?
That means that he's the guy that we're rooting against. Joe, what are your thoughts as far as that promo goes, and maybe a prediction?
Your prediction
for Cena versus Roman Reigns.
Well, and Taco, go.
No, this is tremendous. Tremendous analysis.
That is tremendous analysis.
Episode CN.
Episode CN. Bueno. No, I'm fucking. Oh, go ahead. Not it.
I was just gonna say I finally got there.
Not it.
And I didn't enjoy this at all. I haven't really enjoyed Roman Reigns as much as you guys have in this whole promo versus Cena. Cena's been on the ball, but Roman doesn't do anything for me. But in going for my prediction,
Yes, sir.
he's sadly going to win this match.
Roman doesn't get you moist?
No, he doesn't.
What does that mean?
Taco, what's your prediction?
I feel like that's the greatest gift that we could be ever given for the 100th episode.
Rusev number one.
Yeah, when they first match was kind of getting together, it was kind of like kind of match. But no, they fucking hyped it up, and it sucks because like we know that Cena's leaving to go fucking film the Transformers movie, so it backs everything that Roman is saying, even if he is in China right now promoting WWE shit, So that's kind of the bummer, but I'm expecting John Cena to kind of go all out in this match to kind of add some stock to Roman and kind of come back with a high note.
I have never been such a John Cena fan. I have never rooted so hard for John Cena in a match. Promos, the build-up for
crowd
this
too, man,
has been great. Roman Reigns cutting a foot in his mouth promo on Monday Night Raw this week was just the icing on the cake for me. I am rooting for Cena on Sunday. I predict a Roman win, and I am hoping that there is
skullduggery,
and that Roman goes full on heel and pulls a bunch of skullduggery out of his ass and just steals the win from Cena. Wins it in heel fashion. That would really, if Reigns has to win, I hope that it is indeed with the
skullduggery.
So that's what I'm hoping for to see on Sunday. How about Bray Wyatt versus Dustin Rhodes?
Yeah, man.
This is the most interested I've been in a Bray Wyatt story in a long time.
Oh.
Tying it back into with the Goldust thing last week, Wyatt talking about, the demon and Goldust hiding behind the face paint and whatnot, and Wyatt wiping the paint off of Goldust, and then Dustin Rhodes asking for this rematch again this week, and a fun interaction, a fun back and forth between those two in the ring, actually, and then Wyatt, of course, getting the win after Dustin Rhodes dominated the match, and it was him kind of hitting Sister Abigail out of nowhere. So it's fun for the Dustin Rhodes / Goldust end of the story. Wyatt survives but gets over his finishing hold. So I like that. I liked all of this. So, Joe, what do you think of that, and what's your prediction for the man-to-man matchup between Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor for No Mercy on Sunday?
I love the match with Dustin Rhodes and Bray Wyatt. Again, I love Goldust. I've always been a Goldust fan, and every once in a while he just pulls something out. I was just so disappointed in that ending, and the fact that, again, like an RKO, he hits the Sister Abigail out of nowhere. Like, what the fuck? He's got to set him up on his knee. There's no way he can hit that just that fast every time, and it just bugs me how often that happens on Raw with Bray Wyatt.
I did like, though, that it wasn't your typical formulaic back and forth, even Steven style WWE match, in that it was just fucking Dustin dominating and then bam, hits his finisher. Ah, shit. So it sucks that.
All right, I can see that.
We got the fucking curtain call in the corner too, and all that shit. So that was a good, him going deep in his moveset on Raw.
Did you get your prediction in there, Joe, for Wyatt and Balor?
I did not. I got Finn Balor going over Bray Wyatt. He's going to get that decisive win as, just being Finn Balor.
Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. I can't disagree there, even though the Demon won last month. This whole thing has to be about building up Finn Balor. If you give Wyatt a win here, even if it's with
skullduggery,
I think I don't want to see that. I want to see Finn overcome any skullduggery and win the match either way. So, Taco, what did you think? What's your prediction?
Yeah, it's pretty hard to side with Wyatt on this one. Balor's at a point where he can't lose really any matches if you want to keep him a threat in the main title.
Right. All right, then we had we had a nice Bobby Heenan tribute late in the show on Monday Night Raw. I saw some people complaining online that they didn't do the tribute kind of right off the bat.
I thought they had a little thing off the beginning.
Well, they did the black screen with the dates on it, and then they showed some tweets a couple of times throughout the show, but then they did the full-on video tribute late in the show. Some people were complaining that why not do it right at the beginning?
Bitch is gonna bitch.
Exactly. People just sometimes need something to complain about.
And if you're one of those bitches, you're a bitch.
Neville took
completely true.
Neville took on Grand Metalik, who I forgot was part of the WWE. Won with the Rings of Saturn. A short TV match gave doesn't really do anything for Grand Metalik, unfortunately, which was fun. So it's the short nothing match where Grand Metalik, who was one of the runners up in the Cruiserweight Classic a year ago, out there in a nothing match on Raw, followed immediately by a Hispanic Heritage video. For Hispanic Heritage Month. I thought that was just an interesting way that they did that there. But Neville going to be taking on Enzo Amore. Let's kind of shift into a little bit of 205 Live talk here, because I did actually get to watch 205 Live this week, which I have not done.
Oh, you watched all of it?
I watched all of it.
Damn.
I have not done that in quite some time. Just because
I only did clips.
The presentation of the Cruiserweight guys on Raw just hasn't done much to get me interested, and probably the majority of the audience, unfortunately. But wow, this was a really decent episode. Yeah. I mean, capped off, and WWE does that thing where they build they're good Neville and Enzo face to face in the ring, and I'm rolling my eyes like, oh, this is going to be dumb. But then they get in there and they start going back and forth on each other. Neville was awesome. I really enjoyed his promo. Just talking smack, doing the chicken dance, and all of that. I liked it.
I even got to give Enzo props in that too.
Yeah.
He was playing he's the character right now. I'm going to cheat to win. I mean, he has to. Look at the talent that's on 205. So the Skullduggery, exactly. So I thought it was like one of the best promos between interactions with him and Neville. Was just it was so just surreal. Just I'm a star, baby. Look at me. I got money. I'm flashy. I'm selling merch. I'm hanging out with Drake. And Neville's like, yeah, cooler. Don't give a fuck. I'm the best. Like,
right. Neville,
it was so brilliant. It was just a battle of who's best, but they're both the best in what world they're in.
Joe.
I completely agree. Like, this was just so much fun. And again, I'm going to go back to Neville. I really just enjoyed Neville in this whole situation, because Neville has been killing it pretty much the entire time he's been Cruiserweight champion. Even when he was like a week not Cruiserweight champion, he was killing it. I'm just excited to actually see this match, because I think Neville's just going to destroy Enzo Amore. They're just absolutely demolish him.
I liked in the promo too, where like you brought it up there, Taco, like Enzo talking about, I'm popular, I'm meeting all these people,
sell this,
all this, selling merch.
I got my own emoji,
and Neville just bringing up the idea that you have no idea who I am. None of that. I don't care about any of that. All I know is that you can't fight.
Right?
That line. It was just, and then the way Enzo just reacted to it too, just like, oh shit, I can't fight. So, it was just like he's gonna have to resort to
skullduggery.
And after Raw too, I mean, he's gonna be selling probably ribs or injuries just from the attacks on Raw.
Right. Well, he wasn't selling it too bad on 205 Live, but I get what you're saying. The attack from Braun Strowman,
God damn,
that was awesome. I mean, it's so strange.
His face,
Enzo. It's so crazy how things have switched up, and even take Enzo and Neville. Neville is supposed to be like this dastardly laughing villain, basically. And then in this situation now, all of a sudden we're all rooting for Neville. We're all hating on Enzo Amore. We're thinking he's going to bring skullduggery into it. And so it's so cool how things can kind of. This is what we're talking about, right? We don't need to be hit over the head with who's the heel, who's the babyface. You can just be who you are, and you can root for guys in different programs based on who they're in there with. And in this situation, Enzo's the chicken shit heel, and Neville is the awesome babyface, because on the Monday Night Raw, after After Enzo got taken out by Braun Strowman, Neville comes down to the ring and hits the fucking Red Arrow, his babyface finisher. So that all plays into this as well. So I think it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the match. Let's get to official predictions.
Your prediction.
I'm thinking. I think Neville keeps the thing there. There's a
Neville's keeping the title.
There's a chance of skullduggery. I don't think they're putting that title onto Enzo at all, because since putting Enzo onto 205 Live, you could make an argument. I mean, yeah, I'm watching 205 Live, but at least I did this week. But has that resulted in more eyeballs with Enzo being on 205 Live?
I hope it does, man.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Do they put the title on Enzo because more eyeballs are on 205 Live now? That's the question.
Well, that's what's hard, because they just kind of, skyrocketed him into the main event scene of 205. And, it's not going to translate as well if he's kind of roaming match to match to match and doing his typical I'm going to lose this match shit against all those guys, because they beat him. It's not really a boost for them at all. It's a show time, air time for them. But Cedric Alexander beats Enzo, so what?
Yeah. Any other thoughts on this match, Joe?
No, like I said, just looking forward to the beating.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then finally the main event from Monday Night Raw was the six-pack challenge for the Intercontinental title #1 contenders match. Elias, both of the Hardy Boys, Jason Jordan, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas in there.
Would it be awesome if the Hardy Boys sold candy bar called the Hardy Bars?
That would be awesome.
I would buy that. It would be like
I'd buy a Hardy bar.
It'd be like a Twix setup, whatever. You got two twin candy bars, except for one's like purple and shitty color, and the other's just normal.
You're exactly right.
Sorry, I'm in a fucking candy mood.
No, it's all good. Miz takes out Jordan at ringside because this match, of course, is
This match, anything goes.
I gotta talk. Speaking of the Miz, going back to Enzo though, I did during that promo with Neville. I like that Enzo pointed out. He's like, "Oh, I'm going here. I got my own emoji. I'm doing shows like Miz TV." So it's like they're adding stock into Miz TV.
Right.
It was so funny.
That's a good point. Miz also stops Jeff Hardy from getting a win in the match, and then it was Jason Jordan getting the win over Curtis Axel. So it's going to be Jason Jordan versus The Miz for the Intercontinental title at No Mercy.
Yeah, that's
Taco, what's your
great.
prediction?
We're gonna put the strap on Jason Jordan. It's kind of the time, make a star. Putting them in with all this hype right now, and I'm one of the first to love Miz as Intercontinental Champion. But
What does that mean?
we make a star.
So you actually think that they should put the IC title on Jason Jordan?
Hey, it's sink or swim. They're doing it with Jinder, and he's sinking.
They're saying that's too far, just in case you weren't sure there. We'll get to more of that in a second there. Joe, what's your prediction, Joe?
Taco, you're just wrong. That's just not going to happen. Absolutely will not happen. He's got to do a little more just before we just throw the strap on.
Oh, I agree, but look at Jinder.
There is that. I'm going to predict Miz keeps the title here. Certainly skullduggery could be at play here, of course, with the Miz Taraj.
And didn't Jinder win his #1 contendership in like a 4-way too?
Right,
or even like a 5 or 6-way.
I'm only saying it because they got a lot of the NXT guys moving up and everything, but Jason Jordan's one of them. But it's big split with the the American Alpha. The whole storyline with Kurt Angle, you just had 2 weeks in a row. You had good matches, kind of proved yourself with Cena and Reigns, but you sometimes just got to feed a guy to the sharks to see if he really kicks off, because he really wasn't anything until Gable come along, and taking Gable out of that picture too. He's kind of doing all right, kind of has his moments, but I believe in feed him to the sharks, see how he does, sink or swim. If you don't survive, get the fuck out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they put the strap on him, how that goes. But I agree with Joey here. I don't think he is ready yet. He's not there on the mic. He's close, but he's definitely not there on the mic. I like what he does in the ring.
I really don't think he's there on the mic at all.
No, exactly. No, not at all. And that's why he was good in a tag team with a guy like Chad Gable.
Yeah.
But, what are you going to do? Vince McMahon is in charge. He's a big guy. Get him on Raw. So what are you going to do? All right, that's it for our No Mercy and predictions and Raw talk. Let's get into some SmackDown Live.
Change the subject.
SmackDown Live.
I can be a superhero.
I'm going to make this a tag team match.
I did that right after last week's podcast.
Good, I forgot all about that.
We had the Zigman in there on the new SmackDown sounder.
I can be a superhero. Zigman!
Might as well start there. Ziggler comes out, does more of his stupid impressions, more bad entrances. Yay. This time he makes fun of DX, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. He should have done X-Pac because that's the kind of heat he has. The go-away heat.
I honestly want him and Drew Gulak to do a thing together. They're kind of essentially doing the same idea, but fucking how Drew Gulak is on 205 is so fucking great, and I love this whole PowerPoint thing, and just him coming on 205 this week, and I wish what did the signs say, like no cell phones or something, or no
chance,
that's what it was.
Not no chance, that's what you got. No CHANTS.
But it's kind of the same idea that Ziggler's doing, but fuck, man, like I don't know. I think if they work together, if they can get some fucking gold out of this.
All right, let's move on from the Ziggler thing. The follow-up of the Kevin Owens, Vince McMahon beat down, the headbutt, all of that. This was just okay. Shane kind of comes out and condemns KO's actions, going to meet you at Hell in a Cell.
No.
I didn't think too much of Shane's promo. What else? What did you expect, right? Aiden English versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton won with the RKO after a somewhat competitive match, by the way.
Dude.
But then Rusev comes out, and he challenges Orton to a fight. Then Orton loses after a kick to the face very quickly, and Rusev celebrates. Rusev is very excited.
That was an awesome celebration.
Yeah.
You seem elated.
What does that
mean? Then he talks about how he's excited. He got the win. He beat the Viper. He tore out the fangs. He's going to go back to Bulgaria and celebrate with
Rusev #1. Rusev #1.
That crowd's already hot for him. Love it.
But yeah, what's worse, okay? So Rusev losing in 10 seconds at SummerSlam, or Randy Orton having a competitive match with Aiden fucking English and losing in 10 seconds to Rusev.
Losing 10 seconds at SummerSlam.
But what about this Aiden English thing?
He's been looking good I don't know. I mean, he's slowly winning me over. Like, the whole scene thing, yeah, it's kind of, it's no Elias Sampson, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, I don't mind Aiden English in the ring. The singing is every time for me. It's I just refuse to sit there and listen to the singing. But
I think he's just earning his stripes in the ring right now, and now he's finally getting to some competition that can make him look good and also give him a competitive match.
Yeah, Twisty McMustache leaving's the best thing for Aiden English, to be honest.
What does that mean?
And Aiden English too is deceptively kind of not large, but he's tall. He's almost the same size as Randy Orton.
He's just oddly skinny as fuck, but it's not like it's not like a Spike Dudley skinny.
Yes, sir.
Right. Then we had to keep the negativity rolling on SmackDown. We'll get to the good stuff here eventually, maybe. The Jinder.
Oh, let's just skip this.
It has definitely gone too far. So the idea of this guy is a heel, right? Jinder is. And he is accusing Americans of being racist against him, when in fact, we don't like him not because of his race. We don't like him because he sucks, and he doesn't deserve to be in the position that he's in, i.e. WWE champion. But he has this idea, well... So this promo, he again is making fun of Shinsuke Nakamura. This time, instead of throwing up different pictures of Shinsuke Nakamura, he throws up the same picture over and over again as reactions to different situations, and then he says this:
Shinsuke, you always look the same.
So now the guy accusing everybody of being racist is being outwardly racist, but then
he has dark skin. It's cool.
But then the other part of it is him. This part of the promo, he tries to explain to Shinsuke that don't work for the cheers of these Americans. They actually hate you too.
See, Nakamura, these people, they chant your name. They sing along with your entrance music. They do this deep down to hide their own xenophobia. Behind your back, they're saying you get your hair cut by a dog groomer. They call you Mr. Miyagi.
And then the Singh brothers start doing the Karate Kid crane kicks and whatnot.
Wow.
That crowd, man.
So it's the idea of him telling Shinsuke, "Oh, don't let these Americans fool you. This is what they think of you." When in fact it's him acting these things out, and it's the audience being way too smart for this, saying, "Okay, we get it. This is all fake. This is all scripted, and you out there doing this is going too far." Am I wrong with my analysis here, Joe?
I don't believe so. God, it was so fucking bad.
It's just, it wasn't even clever at all.
No.
Like, fuck, man. Like, I am open when it comes to humor and your freedom and whatever the fuck you want to say, but you got to be a wordsmith if you're going to go near that line, and he is not.
Yeah, and it's not like somebody's going out there every week and making fun of Indian accents and making bad jokes and bad
I didn't even like fucking Roman Reigns saying like, "Oh, I'm not a fucking white boy with a crew cut haircut." It's like, come on, man. Like, just fuck. There's too much of that shit in the news right now. We're getting away from that.
When you have when you have, I don't know, how 15, 20, 25 people on a writing team, and you have Vince McMahon is in charge, everything goes through him. But when you have an entire creative team, and this is what you decide to put out on air, I say shame on Vince McMahon, shame on WWE. This is bad. Don't do it again. And
garbage.
It has indeed gone way too far.
Good crowd.
AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. I put out on Twitter, best Baron Corbin match ever.
Honey dicked me so hard, dude.
Taco saw the tweet before he watched SmackDown.
Yeah, I watched SmackDown way late.
He didn't realize that the match did not happen. That's why.
I had no expectations for this match, and I saw your tweet. I was like, really?
I like AJ before the match saying that Kevin Owens won't make it out of Hell in a Cell because of the match with Shane McMahon. So I like AJ referencing another feud going on because he has experience in the ring with Shane McMahon. He says Corbin will continue to be a failure. Corbin attacks him before the bell. Then Ty Dillinger comes out and attacks Corbin, goes after the knee. Then AJ hits the calf crusher, and there is no match. Like I said, best Corbin match ever, no match.
5 stars.
And it wasn't in the Tokyo Dome 4.
Correct. Then the Charlotte promo. I liked this. Charlotte coming out and saying thank you to the fans for all the thoughts and prayers. I'm not going to bring up the negativity and the continuity error of the last time Charlotte talked about her father. She was disowning him. But I'm not going to talk about that. We're going to let bygones be bygones. But then this kind of turned into typical WWE where all of the other women come out out, make their case for the championship. But I said the same thing that you just did. But at least what they did in the main event, it was a four-way match. Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Tamina,
and it was competitive,
and Naomi. The right person got the win, Charlotte. So it will be a one-on-one match at Hell in a Cell between Charlotte and Natalya for the women's title. So
that'll be a fun one.
I do like that much of it. Don't think too much of the Tamina storyline going on with Lana.
No.
But Becky Lynch and Naomi looked good, both in the promo and the match were decent showings.
I got to go back to fucking Baron Corbin, though, because the match was just a fucking nothing. I was so disappointed, and I was kind of upset about that. I was just like, man, I wanted an AJ Styles match with this dude. Like, right. I want to see something out of this cat. I really fucking do. But the payoff with him, his backstage interview was so fucking worth it. It was just so awesome. Just, hey, Baron, what do you want, a fucking interview? Like, what? Like, how do you... I feel violated. Like, it was so good.
I forgot. Yes, I tweeted about that, too. Upset Baron Corbin is really good.
God, like, he's the proof that he just... You need to trust your wrestlers. Trust these guys. They're the best, they're in the WWE for the reason because you view them as the fucking best. So give them the fucking freedom. And he's one of those guys that needs it because, God, there's a lot against him right now.
Yes. Okay, then it was New Day versus the Hype Bros. And the New Day, of course, got the win with the Midnight Hour. The Usos are going to have their rematch at Hell in a Cell. And Mojo backstage says he's sick of losing, and it's time for a drastic change. What's his name? His partner.
Clinton Dix.
Clinton Dix.
Yeah, definitely. Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder. He didn't agree, but didn't disagree. Just kind of nodded with him. But I don't know. What do you think? Are we finally breaking up the Hype Bros here? What's going on?
Yeah, I want that Zack Ryder heel turn that I've been wanting.
Joe?
I think it could be just honestly just turning the team heel at this point too.
That could be a little more skullduggery between those two.
Skullduggery.
Could be cool with that. It's just
got the New Day. We've got that. We've got all these teams. It's nice to get some good heel teams.
I hear it. It'd be something new from Zack Ryder. I mean, he's just look how much he's fucking beefed up over the years, and
for sure,
his last really big awesome moment was WrestleMania.
Giant erection. He beefed up.
He's just that guy that.
What does that mean?
We've always wanted to see more out of him, and then they give us a taste of it, and they smack that fucking spoon out of our mouth.
Yeah,
so
the push and pull.
We want him. We want him in the spotlight. We know the guy can perform. Not no fucking 5-star match, but he's consistent. Look how long he's been around, and have faith in him.
Yeah. Joe, any other thoughts from you on that one?
No, I pretty much agree. Oh, I do want to bring up, I think you were tweeting about it, but the Usos on commentary.
Yes, they were very good during the match. I anytime the Usos have a chance to kind of be themselves and be out there, I enjoy.
Yeah, I went from fucking 100% Busos to a fucking sign me up day one-ish.
You on Team Us?
Day one is H.
All right, let's move on. Let's get into some NXT, shall we?
Change the subject.
NXT.
NXT keeps turning in pretty decent shows here. I've enjoyed the last few weeks. I like what they're doing with this Lars Sullivan cat.
Yeah.
Him and Noe Jose getting in there, getting at it. How about Lars Sullivan with a diving headbutt off the top into that that side shoulder slam thing for a finish?
It's a big fucking head to fall on you.
Fucking everything to fall on you.
I like him just like running through clotheslines to get the tackling a guy.
Yeah, man.
Just like fucking, you want a high cross body me? Nope.
No way's no small guy either.
Exactly. Johnny
I like his theme music that he's got going on now. It's almost like heavy metal horror theme.
It fits him to a T. Just this pale giant garbage metalhead. He's just mad and wants to do angry things. And so it's perfect. Back to the beginning of this week's NXT, Johnny Gargano beating Tino Sabatelli, wrapping up him beating both of the sports entertainers.
That's a nice step back.
But I like this because 2 wins for Johnny Gargano, him on the redemption trail, building him back up. So I'm not too mad at that. Roderick Strong asks for his match versus Drew McIntyre for the NXT title. We're going to get that in 2 weeks, so looking forward to that. We have no new news on the NXT women's title, but we had a couple of ladies kind of throw their hat in the ring, at least the idea of it. Sonya Deville made her case for the NXT women's title. I know you're not too big, neither of you, I guess, are too big on Sonya Deville. I was okay with the promo itself. It was better than a Nia Jax promo, for instance. but again, it's still something to prove there, I think, for her. But what about Dakota Kai kind of letting it be known that she's interested in going for that? I didn't think too much of her promo either, but never.
I like that they're doing these quick little, give them 10, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So, it's needed.
Joe?
Well, and like Taco said, it's needed just to give. It's a nice way to get them, one, acclimated with the crowd, getting their names out there, but also giving them that they've got to think on their feet. 30 seconds, you got to let's do this, and it trains you. It gets you prepared for those situations.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
And I almost don't want to sit here and bag on people that are inexperienced, working on their. Just trying to get better, on NXT TV. It is developmental to a certain extent, after all. Even though a lot of indie talent, seasoned indie talent, are on NXT, we do have to remember that we're going to get some green stuff from time to time. Speaking of which, Lacey Evans versus Bianca Belair from this week, very impressive. I very much enjoyed that match. Bianca fucking whipping her hair out again and winning with that kind of reverse power bomb thing.
Yeah, man, that was sick.
The first,
I like that.
The first time I saw it before the replay, it almost looked like Lacey Evans reversed it somehow, but it was kind of Bianca throwing her off of her shoulders onto her face. But I like this match.
Yeah, man, they're both impressive. Getting better and better week in and week out, and I can't say enough highly things about that Performance Center.
Joe?
Yeah, I mean, the same. I mean, there was a couple, again, you noticed the little things, a couple of lulls in the match where they were kind of working with each other a little slowly. But other than that, I mean, we got to see a lot of power from both the girls. And Lacey Evans surprised me. I mean, I actually knew Bianca Belair was having a good showing. She had some good power moves. But Lacey Evans surprised me that she was as strong as she was, with how big Bianca Belair was. And
Lacey Evans hadn't really impressed too much up to this point either. And so I was actually kind of not rolling my eye. I was gritting my teeth when I saw that these two were going to have a match, because these two kind of came across as the more greener of some of the competitors in the Mae Young Classic. But they went out there and had a really good match, I thought. So the main event from this week's NXT, very eventful. Trent Seven and Tyler Bate, Team Mustache Mountain, taking on Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, Red Dragon, a.k.a. the Undisputed or the Undisputed Era, depending on what you want to believe.
What does that mean?
Exactly. None of that was actually brought up on this show. So, Seven hits his Rainmaker clothesline, a.k.a. the 7-star lariat. I enjoyed McGinnis calling it that. I think Seven's actually been calling it that for quite some time.
Probably, yeah.
Even since before the 6-star classic. But nevertheless, I like that Seven's Rainmaker is called the 7-star lariat. Adam Cole super kicks Tyler Bate at ringside behind the referee, and then Fish and O'Reilly get the win with total elimination over Trent Seven. Very good back and forth tag match. I really like Kyle O'Reilly. I loved him as a babyface, but him as a heel, just a fucking piece of shit. I'm gonna twist you up and wrestle you and bend you around and fuck you up.
He has that look that he should be a heel, because I've said it before, he's just a goofy, weird-looking motherfucker, just like kind of hunched up and like kind of into himself.
And then he starts hitting you.
It just kind of looks like, exactly, like it just looks like he's about to like fucking rise from the pits of hell to consume your soul and just bah.
That being said, Bobby Fish is awesome too.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And fucking Cole out there with his shit-eating grin is always really good. After the match, McIntyre comes out to get in their face. The Undisputed powder out of the ring, but then back up into Sanity, and a big brawl ensues, and the Undisputed end up crawling away eventually after getting beat down. So I kind of like the idea of, even though Sanity are quote-unquote heels, we talked about how we like the subtlety of who's heel and who's babyface, and I like that about Sanity, but I like the idea of Drew McIntyre, who's pretty much the opposite of the guys in Sanity, almost kind of teaming up with the guys in Sanity to take out this new threat to NXT. So I kind of like that aspect of the story. Joe, your thoughts?
Oh, I completely agree. I love the aspect of it because, as weird as it sounds, everybody brings it up with the whole Bullet Club thing, but Adam Cole just has that NWO style leadership in him, and he can lead a group of guys. I don't need 7 dudes in a faction here. You can work with just the 3 that they've got there, or maybe even add one more, or a woman even.
Clearly he can't lead a group since he died,
Oh, you're right.
That's true.
It's a ghost that you're seeing out there, Joe.
Very interesting.
Just like Michael Jackson in '94.
It is episode 100 of the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. We would be remiss if we did not talk about last week's 100th episode, CN of Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
Change the subject.
God, I missed it. Fuck.
Well, that's what we're here for. We get you caught up.
Yeah.
So, allegedly, we've only got a few more episodes left of Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
It was confirmed on again, we aren't caught up on this week's Lucha Underground. This is from last week, but Ultima Lucha Trace starts in 2 weeks, so actually 1 more week after this week, and it will be 4 episodes long. So around 5 or 6 weeks after this week, 5 weeks left of Lucha Underground. Ricky Mandel shows off his new driver's license to the Worldwide Underground. It says Ricky Mundo. Johnny Mundo says there's only one Mundo in Worldwide Underground. Then it's supposed to be Puma, Cage, Phoenix, and Sexy Star versus Johnny Mundo, PJ Black, Taya, and Ricky Mandel. But Mundo says, no. This Mandel, he tried to change his name to Mundo. We're not going to do that, and we're going to have Marty the Moth replace him. So Marty the Moth replaces him. The ref demands that Cage lose that giant gauntlet, the dick in the box that we've talked about on the show. He demands that he not wrestle with that and remove it. Jeremiah Crane steals the gauntlet after he removes it, and later tries giving that to Katrina. The ref the Mundo does get the win over Prince Puma with the end of the world, kind of quickly and out of nowhere in the match. And remember, we're kind of building up to Mundo versus Puma for the Lucha Underground Championship during Ultima Lucha Trace. So Mundo getting the victory, even though Mundo is the champion, but it just felt so quick in a big 8-man tag match, kind of out of nowhere. After the match, Melissa Santos smacks the shit out of Marty the Moth after he antagonizes her, of course. Then Phoenix assists her and hits him with a super kick. Then Jeremiah Crane tries to exchange the gauntlet for Katrina's love. Mill then attacks Jeremiah Crane because Mill wants Katrina's love all to himself. Cage then joins the fight and says the gauntlet is more powerful than Katrina. Then Dario sneaks in, grabs the gauntlet, and sneaks away. Where if you wanted the gauntlet, Dario, why did you give Cage the dick in the box in the first place? That's an interesting question. Next week, it's going to be Mariposa and Marty the Moth taking on Phoenix and the debut of ring announcer Melissa Santos.
What?
So we'll look forward to that this week.
Pin me whenever.
Then the last medallion match, El Dragon Azteca Jr. versus Pentagon Dark. Matanza stops Pentagon. I'm getting ahead of myself. Pentagon Dark does win the match with the package pile driver. Then Matanza comes out and stops Pentagon from breaking El Dragon Azteca's arm. Dario orders him to then attack El Dragon Azteca Jr. So Matanza is out there just to attack everybody. He doesn't really care about whether Pentagon breaks his arm or not, but for some reason
Sarah fucks.
Exactly. Then it was Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Matanza. They had been building this up for a couple of weeks. Dario wants to get revenge against Rey Mysterio Jr. for being competitive, I guess, in the match with Johnny Mundo.
Damn you,
for
Rey.
the championship. And it was Rey Mysterio wants to get vengeance on Matanza and the Cueto family for ruining that match for Rey Mysterio, his chance for the title.
No fucking dickhead.
Matanza dominates Rey Mysterio Jr., hits a sunset bomb from the second rope. Matanza gets a chair, but Rey Mysterio Jr. takes it and wedges it in the ropes. Hits a 619 into the chair. Matanza throws a chair when Rey Mysterio Jr. springboards, hitting him in the face. Matanza does get the win with the Wrath of the God slam. Dario pushes the feet of Rey Mysterio Jr. off the rope, so that led to Matanza getting the win. So Dario getting in there with the
skullduggery.
After Matanza
hadn't heard it in a while.
After Matanza hits the Wrath of the God slam with a chair, and then he puts the chair around the neck of Rey Mysterio Jr. and runs him into the post. So that's pretty much what happened on Lucha Underground last week. I'm really pumped to see what Melissa Santos looks like getting in the ring. And I'm excited for that.
Got to watch that. Can't
and we
miss
got
this week's
Ultima Lucha Trace coming up in a couple of weeks. We got all the medallions and the Gift of the Gods match. And where are we going with Puma and Mundo in the championship? Of course, the Puma's career versus the championship of Johnny Mundo on the line. So very interesting stuff there. Let's kind of wrap up the show. One more thing. We got to talk just a tiny bit of Ring of Honor because I want to talk about that because I know Joe wanted to talk about that, and we'll tease a little Strong Honor in there as well.
Change the subject.
So, but we got the Ring of Honor pay-per-view coming up this Friday, Death Before Dishonor. I know you wanted to talk Marty Scurll versus Rocky Romero, Joe. A fun match from the middle of the show this week on Ring of Honor TV. Marty Scurll going to be taking on Chuck Taylor, Sexy Chucky T.
Chucky T.
Dustin, otherwise known as. But what'd you think of this match, Joe?
I was just impressed with Rocky Romero. That's the thing. Is like I know what Scurll is capable of. You know, he's a wizard when it comes to submissions and everything like that.
Yes, sir.
But Rocky Romero really impressed me because I didn't realize he was such a submission wrestler. Being with the tag teams and everything,
sure,
I didn't see a whole lot of that. You saw more double tag teams and again more Japan style matches out of him. So just to see him immediately slap the armbar onto Marty Scurll like within 5 seconds of the match starting made me just ecstatic to finish this match.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. The beginning of the match, they kind of avoid each other's signature spots. Romero does that thing where he kind of spiders himself in the ropes, and Scurll goes to dive at him, but ends up outside the ring, and Scurll goes to hit his signature super kick outside of the ring, but Romero avoids that. But then later in the match, they go back to it, and Romero gets taken out as the spider, and then Scurll hits that super kick, and fun sequences like that throughout the match. Scurll countering sliced bread into the chicken wing was fun. Romero getting that armbar in the triangle, and then Scurll kind of transitioning from that into the buckle bomb. A lot of fun, but then Scurll getting the win here with a new finishing move, kind of the I don't know what he calls it, but it was like a right shoulder sit out slam that he did. But a nice.
He hit it cleanly though.
Definitely, no skullduggery. But hit it clean, nice looking. And a new finisher for Scurll. I like that. Since we're on Ring of Honor, we'll just kind of preview a couple other big matches coming up on the pay-per-view this Friday. The big title match, Cody Rhodes, or just Cody, I should say, taking on Minoru Suzuki of New Japan, the current never openweight champion. That should be a lot of fun. Jay Lethal versus Silas Young in a last man standing match. A lot of fun. And then we got the Young Bucks working twice. They're going to defend the Ring of Honor tag titles versus the Motor City Machine Guns. And then the Young Bucks and Adam Page, the Hung Bucks, have to defend the six-man titles versus the winner of the Briscoes and Bully Ray or the Kingdom, whichever team wins between those two. So all of those teams are going to have to work twice. So in effect, it becomes a fair match, except for Hangman Page, Adam Page, not having to work a second match on the show. So maybe that.
I got to bring up Taco retweeted it, but the Kingdom office space in the guardrail.
Yes. Yeah. I forgot about that, but yes, that was great. TK O'Ryan made his big comeback on Ring of Honor television this week. He's been out of action because he broke his ankle doing a moonsault to the outside of the ring, busted it on the guardrail. So the Kingdom did a tribute to the Office Space Sprinter beating down a guardrail. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that very much.
Yeah, those guys, man, like at first I was dogging on them hard, but this shit, week in, week out with them.
It's because you were just a Melvin.
What does that mean?
They've definitely won me over with their shit.
Yeah, they're a fun heel team. I like Marcelia a lot. Even Taven's kind of coming around on me a little bit. I like that entrance music. I kind of get into that a little bit.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a good time.
I'm digging their group.
If you want to hear more on Ring of Honor, New Japan, you got to check out Strong Honor.
What does that mean?
Taco and I spend an hour this week talking about New Japan, previewing this week's Destruction show, talking about last week's, talking a little bit about King of Pro Wrestling coming up next month. We talk all of this week's Ring of Honor TV show, preview the entire pay-per-view for this Friday, and we talk a little bit of Rev Pro out of the UK. So be sure to check out Strong Honor. You can find it on this same podcast feed this week, but also you should be able to, if not now, very soon, do a search on wherever you find your podcasts for Strong Honor, and there will be its own exclusive feed for that podcast. Like I said, if not now, very soon. So since there is a Strong Honor podcast once again, where the Kojima tweet started and will now reside, we have to now feature a new tweet at the end of this show. Now it's time for the WWE Tweet of the Week. So this week's WWE Tweet of the Week comes from Luke Harper. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. That's going to do it for this week on the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
What does that mean?
Hold on.
What does that mean?
I can't think of a better way to end the show.
Happy 100th episode, you fucks.
Happy CN. My name is Tommy Stryker. Follow me at Tommy Stryker. Spell that with a Y. Follow the show at BPW Podcast. And what do you see? BestProWrestlingPodcast.com, the website. Find all the past episodes, social media links to Strong Honor, everything else there at BestProWrestlingPodcast.com. Taco, where can people find you?
Ooh, you can follow me on Snapchat, Twitter at HGREV Taco.
Joe?
And you can follow me at JoeBPWP. That's at Joe, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks for checking out the show. Hopefully we get 100, if not 200 or 300 more here on the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. Bye.
Peace.
Peace.
I was trying to line it up with you. Fuck.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
These nuts, anything goes.
What does that mean?
Sammy Wow Wow.
What does that mean?
You know I got 0 F's to give.
What does that mean?
Shut up.
How drunk are you, Joe?
A little drunk.
Are you taco drunk?
I wouldn't say taco drunk. I'd say not like, I'm tipsy. I'm
on
good
the
and tipsy.
Tommy New Japan scale, what would you give yourself?
Like a 3.5.
What does that mean?